Good morning, everybody. Come on in. I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking, guess what? One of my favorite holiday dishes, quiche. Now, with quiche, I go all over the place with it. As you know, quiche probably has a basic recipe. So I'm going to go ahead right up front and give you that basic recipe. The basic recipe for a deep dish quiche is 2 cups of milk, 3 eggs, a cup of cheese, and any other veggies that you want to add in there, okay? Now, usually, I find that when I do that, now it depends on if you're going to use a deep dish or just a regular pie crust. If you use the regular pie crust, you can get 2 quiche out of that. So, you go ahead and you beat your eggs and your milk together. And then, of course, you do a little, maybe a teaspoon of salt and pepper to taste. And whatever veggies. Now, if you're going to do like broccoli or spinach or something, you need to saute that, or onions or mushrooms. If you're going to put that in there, you definitely need to saute it. So, when you get all those ingredients together, however you're going to put them, or you could just do just the mushrooms or whatever you choose. But the basic recipe is that 2 cups of milk and the 3 eggs. You got to have that, however you're going to do it. And depending on how much other ingredients you're going to put in there is going to depend on how many pans of quiche you're going to get. So, of course, you know I'm going overboard because I got to feed lots of people. So I'll just tell you what I'm going to put in the one that I'm doing. So the basic recipe for the 2 cups of milk and the 3 eggs, you go ahead and now you can make your pie crust if you want to do all that. That's wonderful. You know, just get you a basic pie crust recipe, buy some pie crust in the box or however you want to do it. But what I do, I go right to Food Line and I get me some Food Line pie crust or some Ritz pie crust, either the deep dish or the regular ones. And I go ahead and use those already made. They're good pie crusts and they work well for me. So that's what I'm going to be doing. That's what you'll see me use here today. Or you can make a quiche without a crust at all. I'll show you that because that's what I'm going to have to do for one of mine today. Okay, now, with the basic one, you just take your ingredients. You put your cheese. If you're gonna do meat, you put some meat, some cheese. Pour that egg mixture over it. Put it in the oven, and you bake it for about an hour, and you're done. It's just that simple. Okay, so that's your basic quiche mixture. So here I go with what I'm doing today. As you can see, I got 1,000 different things going on here to go with mine. I am going to make, this is Peggie's version of quiche because I like to put lots of stuff in it, because when I make the quiche, I want you to be able to slice that quiche, get you a salad with it and a hot cup of coffee or something cold to drink or whatever, and I want it to be a meal for you, and I want it to be something that when your friends come by and if they're a little hungry at lunchtime, you can slice them a big slice of that quiche, put some ranch dressing on a lettuce wedge, or whip up some stir-fried vegetables or whatever. But I want this to be a great experience for your quiche palate. Okay, so we're going to call this Peggie's loaded quiche this morning. And this is what I'm going to do with my recipe. I'm using 8 eggs, 4 cups of Food Line reduced fat lactose-free milk, because that's what I have to use so that I can eat it. And of course, my eggs were from Food Line. I got the Food Line Colby Jack cheese. That's 2 cups I'm going to be putting in my recipe. And I've got some, they didn't have any shredded, so I got me some slices of Munster cheese to go in mine. And right over here, let me get that over here in frame. I got some mushrooms, some broccoli, and some chopped onions. I'm going to saute all of that. And then y'all know, because I'm extra, I'm going to go ahead and chop up some sausage. And look at that nice ham. See, here we go with some leftovers. This is a nice slice of that ham that I had left over from Thanksgiving. Because remember, I cooked a 25-pound ham. So I still had a little bag of ham that I sliced up. Now, I had one other thing sitting over in my cabinet. It kept winking at me. Guess what this is, y'all? That's some cheese sauce mix. I had bought it from the bakery the other day. Well, not the other day, but a month or 2 ago. And I never used it. It's called a cheddar cheese sauce mix. So, into my mixture there, I'm going to put some cheddar cheese sauce mix right in there. I had already put one, but I wanted y'all to see it. So, it's about a cup of that. So, in that mixture there, I've got 8 eggs, 4 cups of milk, a cup of that cheddar cheese sauce mix. And I put some of my dry chicken broth mixture. Remember that? This is for flavor. Put some of that in there, a teaspoon of that. And a teaspoon of garlic powder. And a teaspoon of black pepper. And what I'm going to do, this is the mixture that I want to be pouring in over all of my ingredients. So that's my base right there. That's the base. Now, I am probably going to put a little bit, because I'm not going to bake mine forever. I'm going to probably put a little bit of cornstarch just to get me a little bit of a creamy sort of a taste going with that cheese mixture. So I'm just going to dump me, since I don't have my spoon in here, I'm going to dump me a teaspoon of cornstarch. How about that? That's just going to give me some extra cream in there. Because guess what else I put in there that's not called for? That I don't know, you may or may not see it in other recipes, but I'm making this up on my own. I put a half stick of butter in mine. Now I know the cheese will give off some oil, but that butter flavor for me, you know me, I like the extra flavor. We're all about the flavor around here. That's why Tanya calls her show the flavor train. It's all about the flavor. So I like to beat my eggs and milk. I like to beat it up really, really good so it comes out, when it cooks together, be nice and smooth and tasty. And I did tell y'all I put the dry chicken broth seasoning in there for the salt. And maybe just for just be able to know that I'm sure. I'm just going to, well, that's black pepper. That won't hurt nothing. What I'm trying to do is just dump a little bit of salt in here, about a half teaspoon of salt. We want stuff tasty now, because you know sometimes when you cook stuff it's good, but if you don't have enough salt in it, it ain't doing too much. And then my sausage is gonna be salty, but so I didn't need a lot of salt in there. But for all that milk and those eggs, we gotta kind of pull those flavors together. So what I'm gonna do is sausage. This is link sausage and it has a casing on it. But what I like to do, and it's a nice casing, but when I'm cooking it regular just to eat, I'll go ahead and cook this and crisp it. But because I'm putting it in my quiche, I don't want to have to chew on it. I'm just taking, see how nice that casing, that's the casing. Did y'all know that? There's a casing. These are those Eckrich Farm kielbasa sausage. So I'm going to chop those up in little pieces and put it in there. But I want to get all that casing off of there. I don't want the casing in my quiche. So it's nice and skimp, so I'm going to slice them up. I'm going to chop this ham up, and all that's going to go into my quiche. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and get my veggies started. Remember I told you when you're sauteing veggies, if you got mushrooms, do your mushrooms last because they generate water. So I'm going to be right back. Okay, y'all, I got everything all sauteed up, and I'm ready to put these quiche together. I've got my ham and sausage sauteed, ready to go. My mushrooms there, it's going to be going in. And I've got my broccoli and my chopped onions in. And of course, there's the cheese off to the side. That's my Colby Jack. And then over here, I've got some Munster cheese sliced up and ready to go. So what I'm going to start out with, I'm going to have to use that little red dish under there. I'm thinking to have that crustless quiche, or I might have to use a pie tin, I don't know. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and start putting some ham on the bottom. You put these ingredients like this on the bottom. Some ham on the bottom. We don't want to have it too crowded, but mine, of course, you know mine's going to be loaded. This is a deep dish. This is that 8-inch deep dish pie crust. So I'm going to put that ham there. Now, I'm only going to put mushroom in one of these pie crust ones, and then the other one, the one without the shell, I'll put mushrooms in that one. The reason I'm doing that, Kareem doesn't care for mushrooms, so I have to try to accommodate him. So that's the two right there. So I'm going to wait till the end to make the third one if it's necessary. If I have a lot of ingredients left over. So I'm going to do some mushrooms, scatter some. As you can see, you don't put a lot in there. Just put enough in there for flavor. And when you get it and bite into it, it will be loaded up. By the time you get all these ingredients with the cheese in there. Cheese is going to be basically the last thing I put in there. Okay, so I got mushrooms in that one. And then I'm going to go in, put me some sausage in there. See how it's filling up? It's going to be pretty loaded. So, and that's why I'm thinking I'm going to have a third dish that I'm just going to bake without, so now that one's not going to get mushrooms. So we're going to put some more sausage in there. And we are going to have enough for that third dish, and I think it's going to be pretty loaded up. Kareem's a meaty, so I put him some little extra pieces of meat in there for when he gets ready to eat his. So that's plenty of meat in a quiche. Okay. Now the rest of these ingredients and it's going to seem like it's going to be pretty much. We're going to have a pretty good amount. Again, okay. Here goes our some veggies in there. Some more this is the chopped onions and broccoli. I used one kind of a medium-sized head of broccoli for the veggies in here. And again, you don't want one thing to overpower, so you got to get enough going in there, but not too much, so we can enjoy So that's gonna be yummy, y'all. Okay, so I got enough of everything left over to do this little other pan. So I already know. Make sure my stove's turned off. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and this is 2 cups of cheese. So this 2 cups of cheese is gonna be plenty off of what I'm doing. I'm gonna just start sprinkling some cheese in there. We'll have plenty of cheese. If I got that, I'm going to lay some of those slices of Munster cheese in there. Make sure y'all can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put this in the way. As you can see, we're getting these loaded up and get the camera turned a little bit more on that one. Move my egg mixture back. This dish that I'm going to be making, that one without the crust in, is kind of a deep dish. So we want to put a little bit more cheese in that one on the back over there. And we're going to bake these for about a good hour. I've already preset my oven at 350 degrees to cook them. Okay. So I think that's a good amount of cheese in there. Okay, so now you got to know, look at where they are as far as how full they are. Okay, so you got to remember, you got to still do the egg mixture. It still got to go in there. So I'm going to go ahead and start laying some cheese in there. And I've just cut these cheese in strips because I'm going to get 6 slices out of each one of these. I like a nice, healthy slice of quiche. If I'm going to give me some quiche, give me a nice, healthy slice. So I'm going to go ahead and do it just like this. So I can get me 6 slices. So put 6 pieces of cheese in there like that. So they'll sort of give me a little bit of a, let me know where I am with it. So these, remember that this is deep dish. This is not those shallow pie shells. So that's 4, 5, and that's the 6th one. Okay. Y'all know I had to bump you a little bit, don't you? Okay. So now this is the way I put my quiche together. Okay. Now, I probably got way too much filler, but that's okay, honey, because let me tell you something. I can put this in the fridge and I can make another quiche tomorrow sometimes, or I can make other stuff with it. So I rather have too much than not to have enough, because again, it's the holiday season and I got lots of folks in and out. I like to come in and snack because I'm in and out a lot, and I like to have stuff like this waiting and ready for me to use when I need to, versus having to go all the way in and cook it from scratch. So, like I said, I've got plenty of cheese here. Let's see. Yeah. That's my 6 piece of cheese on that one. Okay. So y'all see my arms and stuff flapping all over the place. Anyway, now I am ready. Remember, I had this is my egg, milk mixture. I got it all seasoned up real good. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a cup. Pour it right on there. Just pour it in there. Just like that. And you know this stuff is going to rise up. So you can't put too much. And of course, you know I got some butter in there. I'm going to put a little bit more. That's 1 cup and a half. So it's probably going to take a cup and a half in each pan to make it. Okay, that's a cup in that one. So these are just about ready to go in the oven, y'all. And that's a little bit more. Okay. That's how I put my quiche together. See how simple that was? The most work you do is chopping this stuff up. But once you get it all chopped up and ready to go in the oven, my oven is placed on 350 degrees on the, I've got a convection cycle on there. And the other thing that I'm going to do, so that I won't have a, just in case I have a spillage, hold on a minute, I'm going to grab a pan from under here. No, you know what I'm going to do? Because I'm going to bake these on the lower rack because I want the bottoms to brown really good. So see what that looks like? Okay, that's ready to go into my oven. So into the oven they go. So that's number 1 into the oven. Number 2 is going into the oven. Number 3 is going in there shortly. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and off camera do this and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, everything is in the oven. How about that? Okay, I always put some foil or something at the bottom of the oven so if it spills over. I'm going to bake that for about an hour and I'll be back. I'm going to get cleaned up. Get my cleaning up done. Okay, y'all, there it is. It's out of the oven. That's my quiche without the crust. I had to bake in a baking dish. Lots of it. We're going to be eating quiche for days. And these are the 2 quiche with the crust. So one of those is going to stay here, and this one's going to stay at the house, and that one there. Because I told y'all yesterday, Barbara's moving into her new home. I'm going to be taking one of these quiche over for she and Mildred so they can have some quiche for lunch. So like I say, this is a nice holiday dish that you can eat at any time of the day. I'm about to probably end up cooking grits with it. I'm going to eat bread with it, even though some of it's got crust under it. I'm going to do a salad with it. I'm going to do a lot of things to consume this. I might even do some stir-fried cabbage, but for right now, I'm going to have a piece with some coffee and get ready to get out of here and go take Barbara and Mildred their quiche. So, thanks for tuning in. Just want to give y'all another idea for a great, great, great holiday quick meal for friends and family. So, like I always say to you, keep the prayers going up and the blessings will continue to come down. Thank y'all again. Love y'all. Happy holidays. Be safe. Cook good. Eat lots. Give presents and love one another. Toodaloo. One other little tidbit about the quiche. If you have lots of it left over, which I want, quiche freezes well also. So you can put these, wrap them up good in freezer bags and put them in the freezer and keep them for later on. You can do these as do-aheads if you know you're getting ready to have company. So, toodaloo.